The Untouchable True School Sports Empire proudly presents something the boxing game's been missing. Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. Now, I had a chance to rewatch the Devin Haney fight with Jorge Linares, and for those of you who watched my reaction to the fight while I was at the fight, I was very, very harsh on Devin Haney. I was very, very spirited and animated with what I saw, because what I saw was a fighter that got punched in his mouth for the first time and looked vulnerable. And, Devin Haney hasn't really fought anybody yet. So he finally fights Linares, and he doesn't really, not only does he look vulnerable, but I saw some tendencies in the fight that were a big red flag to me if he wants to go fight a guy like Teofimo Lopez anytime in the near future. The excessive holding, wasn't a thing that it wasn't just a thing that happened late in the fight. It was a thing that started early in the fight and intensified as the fight went on. But that's just my opinion, and that's what I saw when I watched the first time. That's what I saw watching the second time. But what I will say is this: I think I was being very harsh with Devin Haney, very, very harsh with Devin Haney, because I had a chance to rewatch the fight, and first 9 rounds, I think there's only about 1 round you could give Jorge Linares. Devin Haney looked very sharp. I liked the way he was controlling Linares with the jab. I liked the way he was pivoting and controlling the center of the ring. Oftentimes when you go to a fight, and for those of you out there who have actually gone to fights and watched it back on TV, you'll know what I'm saying is true. Sometime when you go to a fight, there are certain things that you pick up at the fights that you don't pick up on TV, and there are certain things you see on TV that you don't see at the fights. There are certain moments that really are more intensified at the fight than they are on TV. So with that being said, Devin Haney's performance at the arena, it didn't look that good in comparison to what I saw on TV, because of the fact that just there was so much holding, and then at the same time too, when you're there, most of the crowd is booing him. And that can influence how you see a fight, and that's just being honest. But I give him his credit, and I'll correct myself and I'll humble myself. Devin Haney, all things considered, from the holding aside, and hopefully he corrects that, because if he doesn't correct that, that'll be his ultimate undoing. But aside from the excessive holding, just the way he was using the jab to control the center of the ring, the pivoting of his feet to control the center of the ring, I thought Devin Haney passed his first test with flying colors with Jorge Linares. Now, there were some red flags. There were some alarms, but let's give the kid his due. Linares is a big puncher, a solid puncher at 135. He took the shots well. Yes, he got hurt. Yes, he was rocked. That's part of the sport. But he didn't get dropped like Ryan Garcia did against Luke Campbell. So give him some credit for showing durability in the fight. That's number one. And number two, with Devin Haney, he's a 12-round fighter in the purest sense. And let me explain what I mean by that. You have fighters in boxing, they might fight 12-rounders, but they're not 12-round fighters. They don't understand how to grind their way out and use each and every round to their advantage. And Devin Haney does. Devin Haney has those instincts to where he'll make the right decisions, and he'll use each and every round, each and every moment to his advantage. And that's what he did in this fight with Linares. Some rounds, like in the first 7 or 8 rounds, using a lot of the jab, probing with the jab, pivoting, controlling the center of the ring, the counter uppercuts, shooting a lot of uppercuts and things like that. These are the things that Devin Haney was doing to get him a big lead early on in the fight. And then when it came time to hold, he did what he had to do. As much as I want to criticize Devin Haney for holding, I think Linares also deserves some blame, because once he found that pattern with Haney, he should have been punching on the break as much as possible. He did it once, I think it was in the 10th round or the 11th round. But I think Linares' lack of dog on the inside and his lack of willingness to get physical on the inside, it cost him. It cost him a chance to really take Devin Haney to some deeper, darker, uncomfortable places in that fight, because he had Devin Haney hurt. He had Devin Haney staggered, but he just lacked that extra bit of grit and determination that I think he needed. So as much as we're blaming Devin Haney for the holding, let's also blame Linares for his lack of physicality, because he didn't show that when the going got tough. And that's just what it is. As far as Devin Haney, I want to address a couple things before I end the video. A lot of people say that Devin Haney is 22 years old. He's the youngest of the bunch, so that we have to give him a pass. And I think, and I'm gonna put it like this. I'm gonna be cut and dry. I gave him credit for his performance. I corrected myself. I thought Devin Haney boxed beautifully in the first 7 to 9 rounds of the fight, and I thought he won the fight. 9-3, 8-4, but he won the fight clearly. So I'm giving him that. I'm correcting myself. I'm honing myself, and I'm giving him that. So give me some credit. I can say when I'm wrong. I can correct myself. But one thing we gotta stop doing, Devin Haney, and for the love of God, let's stop doing that, because these are the cold hard facts. Yes, he's 22 years old. Yes, he's younger than Teofimo Lopez. Yes, he's younger than Ryan Garcia. I get these things, but he's not younger as far as his boxing is concerned. We're talking about a kid with 26 fights in the professional ranks, okay? And then it gets even crazier when you start going into how many rounds he's boxed. He's got 150 rounds in the bank. Teofimo Lopez only got 72 rounds in the bank in 16 fights. So, if anything, Devin Haney's more experienced than all these guys. So why is Devin Haney getting a pass for, I'm going to say it, a lackluster performance? Yes, he built up a big lead. We get that. It's a 12-round fight. He used 12 rounds to his advantage. Credit to him. He's got boxing IQ. But if you're trying to, keep up with your counterparts, your peers, your younger peers in the lightweight division, like Devin Haney's, like your Ryan Garcia's, like these guys, and Teofimo Lopez, and these guys, and Gervonta Davis, people are looking for a statement performance from Devin Haney. And a lot of times, he's got a lot of praise thrusted upon him, all right? He's called himself the self-proclaimed new money Mayweather. A lot of people compare him to Floyd Mayweather, but I hate to break it to you. When Floyd was 22 years old, when he fought guys like Linares, or even better than Linares, he was unleashing 5, 6, 7, 8 punch combinations, putting people squarely on their ass. And that's not what Devin Haney is. So if I get mad at him for lackluster performances or excessive holding or getting rocked, it's because of the expectations that he's thrusted upon himself and that the boxing was thrusted upon him. So I'm holding him to the high standard that everybody has for him. We're not going to baby him, especially when he's boxed double the amount of rounds as Teofimo Lopez. Why should Devin Haney get a pass for being young when he's boxed double the amount of rounds as Teofimo Lopez? And I have looked at Ryan Garcia's rounds boxed in the professional ranks, but I can almost guarantee you he's boxed more rounds than him too. He's boxed more rounds than a lot of guys. I mean, fuck. Let's look. Let's have a look. I want to see, just for the hell of it. Just for the hell of it. Like, has Devin Haney boxed more rounds than Gervonta Davis? Because Gervonta Davis is pushing 26 years old. He's the oldest of the bunch. So, he's boxed more rounds than Tank. Devin Haney has boxed more rounds than Teofimo Lopez. He's boxed more rounds than Tank. Has he boxed more rounds than Ryan Garcia? Where Ryan Garcia in that? So, we're talking about 72 rounds for Lopez, 85 for Tank. Hold on, man. Because I'm getting sick of you guys putting training wheels in Devin Haney. Credit to him. I wish him the best with his career. I want to see him do his thing. I want to see the kid maximize every last bit of his potential. But the reality is this: he's boxed more rounds than Teofimo Lopez. He's boxed more rounds than Gervonta Damn Davis. He's boxed more rounds than Ryan Garcia. Garcia's only boxed 67 rounds in the professional ranks. So we're not going to give Devin Haney a pass for being younger than everybody. We're not going to give Devin Haney a pass for fights where he should really be showing his quality, and we're not going to give Devin Haney a pass for excessive holding. He boxed, he did what he had to do, he won the fight, but let's make no mistakes about it. Let's have no qualms. Let's have no confusion about it. He ain't on the same level as Teofimo Lopez, and that kid ain't ready for Teofimo Lopez. He got to box more veterans. Because so far through 150 fights, he's got a lot of habits from a lot of different trainers, and this is going to hurt him as well. This is what's going to hurt Devin Haney as well. And just hear me out. Before you say I'm a hater, hear me out. Devin Haney, in his career, he's worked with Floyd Mayweather Sr., he's worked with Mike McCallum, he's worked with, now he's got Ben Davison in his corner, he's got his father, Bill, and I'm sure there's other trainers as well. So what I'm saying is, there's a lot of habits he's picked a lot up from different trainers. And I still feel like Devin Haney, he hasn't figured out his identity in the ring. And that's concerning, because you boxed 150 rounds in the professional ranks and you still don't have a clear-cut identity. He knows we all know what his strengths are. We all know what he's good at. We all know what he's not good at. But Devin Haney doesn't seem to know himself what his strengths and weaknesses are. And that's why I think he got hurt in the Linares fight. It was an exciting fight. I like being there, but I think at some point in time, Devin Haney's going to have to find a trainer he likes. Not that he likes, but that can really improve him and stick with him, because he's got habits from Mike McCallum. He's got habits from freaking Floyd Sr. He's going to pick up shit from Ben Davison. He's got stuff from his dad. Pick a trainer and stick with him. And this is my opinion. I want to see Devin Haney at some point in time. My dream scenario for Devin Haney. This is me as an objective boxing fan and as somebody who wants to see Devin Haney become the best version of himself. Okay, this isn't me, BT, the Teofimo Lopez fan. This isn't me, BT, the Devin Haney hater. This is me, BT, who just wants to see these guys maximize their potential and put on the best fights. At some point in time, hopefully sooner rather than later, I would love to see Devin Haney get together with Sugar Hill Stewart. I think that would be the perfect matchup, the perfect combination for him. You know, we know Devin Haney's got one of the best jabs in the sport. We know he's a great defensive fighter. We know he's got a great ring generalship. We understand these things about Devin Haney, but there's still that extra bit of quality that's lacking with Devin Haney. And we can't sit here and say, oh, well, he's young when he's boxed double the amount of rounds of Teofimo Lopez. He's boxed double the amount of rounds as Ryan Garcia, and he's damn near boxed double the amount of rounds as Gervonta Davis. So it's time for him to really start showing the extra bit of quality, and I hope it happens in the next fight. And I hope he can get with a guy like Sugar Hill Stewart, because Sugar Hill Stewart, the one thing he specializes in is the fundamentals of power punching. You know, I've seen it firsthand. Nobody can tell me otherwise about Sugar. I've seen him work in the gym with fighters. The fundamentals of power punching, and the fundamentals of getting every last bit of leverage behind your shots. And I feel like Devin Haney, he needs that in his career. He needs to get to a place where he can blend that great boxing skill, that world-class jab, and the great ring generalship he does have with some damn grown man punches, because he in there, he throwing 1, 2, sometimes 3 punches, but you never see 4, 5, 6 from Devin Haney. And we need to see 4, 5, 6 from Devin Haney so that he can be the best Devin Haney possible. Because I'll tell you right now, he's got a lot of tools in his toolbox, but the Devin Haney as he exists right now has not slim to no chance of beating Teofimo Lopez. Take it to the bank, cash your checks on Sunday. He's not beating no damn Teofimo Lopez, because all that excessive holding he was doing when he got tired and when he got touched up, that's gonna get him fucking lit up with a left hook, a double left hook, a straight right hand. Pick any punch you want, but it'll get him hurt really badly against Teofimo Lopez. It'll get him hurt bad against Gervonta Davis, and it might even get his ass hurt against Ryan Garcia if that fight were to ever happen. And that's what it is, man. So look, I give him his credit. He boxed well for 12 rounds. I think it was a great experience for him. I think he will come back better. But let's please stop babying Devin Haney, because he's boxed double the amount of rounds of the guys that you're comparing him to. He's boxed double the amount of rounds to Teofimo Lopez. Okay, so he's got to improve. He's got to find a way to get more comfortable on the inside, because every time Linares closed that gap and he couldn't extend his arms to punch, this motherfucker automatically just started tying him up, holding him, hugging him. I mean, Jesus Christ, I haven't seen this many hugs since my high school prom. So Devin Haney, he's got to tighten up. I want to see him get better. For me, because I always look at these boxers' careers. Sometimes I look at it through the eyes of a manager. For me, if I was Devin Haney's manager, I would not even think about putting him in there with Teofimo Lopez. That's a straight recipe for disaster. What I would rather do is I would take the valuable experience you got from the Linares fight, and I would parlay it into fighting the winner of our June 26th fight between Nakatani and Lomachenko, because I feel like Devin could beat either one of them. I think he could outbox Lomachenko. I truly believe that. You know, with his range, his size, his speed, his intelligence, he could outbox Lomachenko. And with Nakatani's strong, he's tall, he's durable, but Nakatani's a big target. His defenses can be leaky, and that's another fight where I think Devin Haney would have his toughness tested again. And if he's able to land on Nakatani, which I think he will, it could be a fight where he showcases the best version of himself. So I'm going to leave it at that. Congratulations to the young brother Devin Haney on beating a good veteran fighter in Linares who came to win, who came to punch him in his mouth. I'm not going to be disrespectful to Devin Haney. He did his thing. He controlled the center of the ring. 9-3, 8-4. Those are fair scorecards. And I'm going to leave it at that. So you guys let me know what you think in the comments down below. What do you think about what I had to say about Devin Haney? What did you make of Devin Haney's performance? And who would you like to see Devin Haney fight next? Leave that in the comments down below. Make sure you take the time to subscribe. And like I say in every single one of these videos, you can love me or you can hate me.
But I'm just a kid from Dayton. Yeah.
There you go. Take care, guys.